Welcome back, everybody. How are we all doing? I feel like it's been a little while. Sorry. Yeah, I feel like it's been a while. I was getting into a bit of a routine, almost managing an episode a week. But I thought it was about time to bring back the Anno series, because some of you guys have been telling me that you missed it, and even though my reasoning for not making episodes on it being the lack of views, I had a comment that really highlighted how silly it is to be thinking of it that way. I mean, stuff we all know. Like the comment was basically, I wish that you would not look too much on watches and likes, but create what you enjoy. I mean, we know that, right? We know that it shouldn't be about the numbers. But I think I've been getting a bit wrapped up in it all. I think the closer we get to this arbitrary milestone of 4,000 watch hours that YouTube requires for monetization, I'm getting a little bit caught up in the numbers. Every day I check the numbers to see how close we are. And in a way, yes, it is exciting because becoming monetized is one step closer to the far off future hypothetical possibility of me being able to do this every day, you know? So, of course I'm excited. But it's not about that. It's not about the numbers or the likes or the watch hours. It's about getting into this world and creating something that we all love, that I love to share with you. And yeah, I think I need to get back into that. I'm losing touch slightly, and it's time to get it back. Anyway, last episode, we finally built the windmill that I had been planning for so long. And I don't know about you, but I think this is pretty damn awesome. So what are we going to do today? I need to go off and do my research. I'm going to go and find some videos about how old-fashioned windmills worked inside, how the mechanism works. I bet you there's some on YouTube. I'm going to find some. I'm going to hunt them out. And yeah, I'm going to enjoy that, because that's my kind of thing. Seeing how old pieces of machinery worked. Big wooden cogs and... yeah, that's fun. But before I do that, now that we've been to the Nether, we've kind of unlocked the next tier in the Create mod. And with that, there's certain things that we can build that we couldn't before. Like, there's a large crushing wheel that I think would look perfect in here for the mechanism of the windmill. See, look at these guys. They're just big stone crushing wheels. I don't know if we'll actually have them working like they are here, because I think millstones that they use in windmills work differently. It's two wheels on top of each other. Oh, this does all look so cool though. Yeah, because you can crush ores with it, and we definitely will. We'll make a little ore crushing, maybe attached to the old watermill as well, just to crush the iron ore up. We'll do that. We'll make some little crushing facility. But I think I want one, even just maybe because it looks so cool, as a millstone. They look like millstones, so if I put one on top of the other, maybe I can make them look like they're grinding the grain. But how do we build this? So it's a much bigger recipe using this block here which is the mechanical crafter. And that's what we've kind of unlocked by going to the nether. So how do we build one of these? We need a brass casing. Brass is, brass we can't make yet. And electron tubes. Electron tubes is just iron nugget, redstone torch, and polished rose quartz. How do we make polished rose quartz? We need sandpaper. So just polish rose quartz with sandpaper. And how do we get rose quartz? Redstone and quartz. That's fine. Yeah, we can absolutely do that. That's not an issue. But how do we make the brass casing? So we're going to need brass. And brass ingot. How do we get this? Crushed brass. Mixing. Yeah, this is it. So we mix using a blaze burner. So we have to go back to the nether and get a blaze and trap him in this burner. Blaze burners can provide heat to items processed in a basin. Yeah. And then we can melt the alloy that is brass using this heat source. Oh, a blaze cake can reach an even stronger level of heat. Wow. Yeah, that's future. I don't know how to make a blaze cake right now. So yeah, we need to go to the nether. Oh, it's constantly raining. Actually, I love how it looks in the rain, so that's fine. Anyway, let's go to the nether to get the blaze, to melt the brass, to make the all of this just to make something that might end up being aesthetic only. But it's worth it. I want it to look like a real old-fashioned windmill, so of course we need the millstones. Anyway, let's go back to the nether. So, we trapped the blaze in this blaze burner, and I was thinking we're going to need somewhere to set this up. I don't want to just stick it in the house. It's going to need its own little building, I think. So, I built one. I built an extension, a workshop extension. The same kind of style as our other workshop up here in this area. And I like it. I like that it's growing. I like that the area is naturally, organically growing as our needs dictate. You know, I think that's really cool. So let me show you inside this second workshop. I hadn't even intended to build this, but I kind of love that. I kind of like that the game dictates what we should build next sometimes. You know, we needed to make brass, so we're gonna need somewhere to do it, right? So why not build another little workshop back here? But yeah, here's the space I've got laid out. I've got power coming from the big water wheel under the ground and up here to power everything we need in here. I think this is where we'll have the mixer powered by that. I've set it all up ready. I planned it out. And then in this area, because it's quite large, hanging from that beam is the large mechanical crafter mechanism that we need to build in order to make the crushing wheels. And I think that looked really cool just hanging here in the center. So yeah, that's this little workshop. Another beautiful tree just pressed up against the side, and there we go, situated in the world. Looks like it was always here. Let's make this mixer to go above the blaze burner and see how this all works. So, how do we make the mixer? We've got all of that. All we don't have is a whisk, and we've got everything we need to make a whisk. So, let's go to the other workshop and get this crafted. I do love going to all the different places to get the things we need. If anyone is finding when they're playing Minecraft, it's all just a bit samey. It's all just you just stood in your storage room crafting things constantly. Spread everything out, you know. Put things in different locations. So in order to, like this, in order to create plates, I've got to come here. There we go. Let's get this mechanical mixer made. And we need a basin as well. How do we make a basin? Oh, that's easy. Just andesite alloy. Perfect. Let's go see how this works. And there we go. Basin and mixer. That looks so cool. Look at that. I love all these create block models. There's so much movement. There's so much life there. Now, what can we make with this mixer? Dough. Ah, interesting. Given that we're going to make a bakery soon. Oh, and a cheaper recipe for andesite alloy. That's good to know. But a chocolate. There we go. Crushed zinc and crushed copper. So yeah, I guess we just, yeah, you can put the ingots in. 1 ingot and we get 2 brass ingots. Okay. Well, let me go and get some zinc and copper. So right now it's all up here at the house, but I think we should move the copper and zinc over to there, because that's going to be the new location for all the brass things, you know. For now, I'm just going to take a little bit and smelt this up. And why not use our actual blast furnace, right? So there we go. All the zinc, all the copper smelted. I love this. I love just a little bit of roleplay of actually using the machines that I built. Even if it doesn't make too much sense. But in the context of this world, it does make sense. So, let's make brass. I guess, do we click it? No, maybe we have to throw it in. Copper, a little bit of copper, a little bit of zinc, and then feed the blaze. And it appears that this mechanical not rotating with enough speed. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna have to make it run faster. There we go. I've upped the gear ratio a little bit, and now it seems to be, the warning message is gone and it seems to be spinning. So let's put the copper in. Let's put the copper in. Ugh. I think I'm gonna have to take off my magnet. Right, I'll put the Heart of the Sea in there, so I won't be magnetizing it to my feet. Add a little copper, add a little zinc, feed the blaze, and there we go. Look at that. Mixing it up. That's so cool. And what do we got? Our first brass. That's pretty amazing. Now, I need to make a bunch more of this so that we can build the huge mechanical crafter that's going to hang here. And that's going to look really cool. This isn't even what we were meant to be doing today. We're supposed to be working on the windmill. And I love how all of this has come out of the necessities that the windmill build has required. I also got bored hand cranking this, so I've connected a shaft all the way from the big water wheel. So now it's very slow, but it's automatic. And I pressed all the brass sheets, polished all the rose quartz, made the electron tubes, crafted the mechanical crafters. And now, here's what we've built. Here is the large array of mechanical crafters that we need in order to make the crushing wheel. This looks so cool, just hanging here in the workshop. I think this whole workshop just turned out so well. Look at it, look at all the moving cogs. I love it. And this was all just a side quest. So apparently if you click on the backs of them like this, you can connect the different areas. So I've got the outer ring all connected. So if I put in some andesite, it fills the whole batch. Add a little bit of wood. And finally, center stone. Oh, it's so cool. And there we go. A pair of giants. 2 crushing wheels. This whole workshop just so that we could get these 2 crushing wheels. It was worth it. I loved that. I love just having no intention to do any of this, but the story of playing the game, just, you know, we needed these, right? So now we've got another workshop for it. But anyway, let's get to work on the inside of that windmill. So I have done my research. I have found a bunch of really interesting videos on some windmills in the Netherlands. I mean, the Netherlands is the home of the windmill, right? There's thousands of them there, apparently. They were used to pump the water because I didn't know. I'm sure some of you are from the Netherlands and you know this. But I didn't know that most of the Netherlands used to be just a bog, and it's under sea level. So there are thousands of windmills that were built in order to pump water off the land and into the sea in order to make it useful for farming and building. I had no idea. I think that's really cool. And a lot of these windmills still exist, even though, you know, modern electrical machinery has taken over the most part of it. There are still a bunch of these windmills, and I saw a video of a guy who rents one, and he toured off, he did a tour for the camera of how it all worked inside. And it was really fascinating. So basically, you've got the bit we all see, you know, the big blades on the outside, and then inside, on the opposite, on the same axle of those blades, is a big wheel, a big cog up on its side, and that in turn turns a cog lying flat, and that drives a shaft that runs all the way through the windmill from the top to the bottom. And that's how we get the rotational power down to do all the crushing, to turn the huge millstones at the bottom of the windmill. Now, I've been looking at our windmill, and I think if we're going to try and recreate the reality of the inside mechanism of a windmill, unfortunately, the way I've built this, for some reason, if you can see, look, the axle from the blades is too low. It goes in at the very bottom of that upper building. So, first things first, I need to take down these blades and rebuild them 2 blocks up. That's really annoying, but it'll be worth it. I have an idea of what I want it to look like inside, and yeah, it's going to look really cool. So, let me take down these blades. Okay, I've moved it up. Now I've done my research. I know what I need to build. I've planned it all out, and I gotta say it looks pretty amazing. So I'm gonna gather everything I need, build it all up, and come back when it's done and show you guys just how cool it all looks inside. All the working cogs and shafts and grindstones. Yeah, it's gonna look amazing. Let me go build it up. So it's quite tricky trying to replicate complex, old-fashioned machinery in Minecraft. But I think I've done the best I can given the scale of the blocks in the game. It feels, given based on the videos that I've watched, it feels like the inside of a windmill. Like the pieces are in the right place, you know? Because I tried to explain it before, but I guess it's easier now that it's actually built. You've got, on the other side of this wall is the sails. I called them the blades last time, but yeah, they're called the sails, like wind sails on a ship. And then you've got this big cog turning at the speed of the sails. And I think using the dried wood for like an oxidized bronze gear look. This looks really cool. I like this. And then this is turning this horizontal cog. And it was quite difficult making it work within Create, that I had to use the actual Create gears to get the motion working, but then building a larger superficial cog around those. So it looks like heavy pieces of machinery, but still works within the Create mod, you know? But I think it looks so cool. I'm really happy with this, the big gear room up here. And then if we duck under the large gear and go down the ladder, you see the big shaft turning throughout the whole windmill. And up here is where they would drop in the grain. They'd fill a hopper above the grindstones full of grain and then control it down there. And I'll show you that. I'll show you downstairs in a minute. But yeah, this doesn't function like it would in reality. This is more for aesthetic. Just to, you know, imply that this is where the grain would be dropped in. But if you head out here, we've got, I can see I've installed like a rope pulley, a crane. Actually, if you go back up the ladder, this door is all over the place. But there's a lot of detail in here that I've put a lot of thought into it, you know. So yeah, I've put a little bit of a rope pulley system so they can get the sacks of grain up to either this level or any pieces of machinery that would need to be brought up to this level, and then, you know, also the grain sacks to the level below. So yeah, this is really cool. Anyway, just jump down and I'll show you the lower levels. So in here I've used the Farmer's Delight mod rice sacks to kind of emulate sacks of flour that have been milled. And I think they look pretty good. They do the job. This feels like the inside of a windmill. Just flour, sacks of flour everywhere. But yeah, you can see the shaft coming down from above and another large cog that's turning this millstone. Because apparently the way it works is the bottom millstone stays still and it's the top one that rotates around, grinding the grain between the two stones. And I've used the chutes from the Create mod because the grain is actually meant to go into the center of the millstones. There's a hole in the center, and then it gets ground as it moves its way out to the edges and falls out the edges. So yeah, if we come down here, I've kind of implied like a chute, like a, I don't know how do you describe this? It's kind of like a method of catching the flour as it falls off, and then it will come out here and into a sack to fill the sack with flour. I don't know. I've I've put so much thought into all of this. I've really tried to replicate what I saw in those videos that I watched of actual working old-fashioned windmills. You know, because I think that's so cool. I think it's I really enjoy playing Minecraft this way. Like as much as sometimes you just want to play with the fantasy aspect of it and have some story and some magic maybe, but I also like keeping it quite grounded in reality sometimes, and making structures like this feel real, feel used, feel purposeful, and like they actually do the job that we're imagining that they're doing. Like, Minecraft is a game where you kind of have to use your imagination to a certain extent anyway, because everything's so blocky. But it doesn't mean we can't push it even more towards reality to make it feel more real, more rich. And yeah, and I think I've achieved that with this. It's another of those industrial buildings where doing the research paid off and made it so much more than I could have imagined. You know, I don't know how windmills work. I didn't know how windmills worked. So I would have just, I don't know, made it up, you know. And it would probably have looked nothing like this. But having the sense of the reality, it really helped to guide me, I guess, into how I should make this look in our world. And I love it. I think it's amazing. Going forward, I'm definitely going to tackle builds in this way, especially industrial builds with movement and buildings with a purpose, you know, not just like a house. Something like this. I think it ends up looking so cool. But yeah, what do you guys think? It's me just saying how much I think this is amazing. What do you think? What do you think of the inside of this windmill? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, I thought it would be fitting if this time something I like and want to share with you should be the videos I watched. And then you too can also see how they work as well, how the windmills work too. Because I don't know, I thought it was just fascinating. It's the video. It's quite an old video. What I watched. The quality is terrible, but actually there was two. I'm gonna put both of them in the description. And yeah, if you guys are interested in how old windmills work, then you can take a look at those. I thought it was really fascinating, and yeah, and then you can compare what I've built and decide for yourself whether I've done a good enough job. But anyway, that's the windmill completely completed now. And next episode we can move on to another project. I'm not sure what yet. Maybe I'll just fill out the village a little bit more, build some more houses. I think that's what I'm in the mood for, so I'll get planning on what they should look like. Anyway, I'm sorry that this episode took so long, guys. It's unfortunately, you know, life keeps me from doing this sometimes, you know. Real life gets in the way. But nah, it is what it is, and I am grateful to be able to make these at all, even if sometimes it's not as often as I would like. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and thank you for your patience waiting for this. Thank you to my patrons, and if anyone else wants to support me like that, that would be amazing. The link's in the description as always. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.